latest travel updates for international students. In today's video update, we will talk about New Zealand shutting its borders for international students. International students are not expected to return to New Zealand soon. It was reported that, during the International Education Forum 2021 in Auckland, on the 12th of July 2021, New Zealand Education Minister Chris Hipkins told attendees that there have been no major amendments to the current plans in allowing international students to enter New Zealand again. Hipkins said that, "Our top priority continues to be the health, safety and well-being of all people in New Zealand." He added that, the students will return to New Zealand in phases, beginning with a cohort of 300, that will be able to return from April, with the remaining students returning throughout the year, as managed isolation and quarantine availability allows. According to the government announcement, up to 1,000 bachelor and postgraduate students might be eligible for an exemption to their border restrictions if they hold, or have held, a visa to study in New Zealand, and have been nominated by their education provider. Last year, they also established a category that will allow 250 international PhD and postgraduate students to enter New Zealand and continue their studies. On the other hand, fewer than 200 students out of the planned 1,000 were allowed into the country more than half a year into the recovery plan. It was also discovered that this is largely attributed to the drawn-out application process, lack of spots in New Zealand's MIQ spaces, and confusion when it came to eligibility. Is it true that students not expected to return to New Zealand until 2022? In May, in a letter education bodies and representatives in the country, Hipkins said that they would continue to support the return of students while border restrictions are in place. He said that, "I welcome the sector's assistance on getting the approved 1,250 students back in New Zealand by July 2021. To support their re-entry, we have recently ring-fenced MIQ places for 400 of these students in June 2021. Depending on the outcomes of this group MIQ booking, further ring-fencing of MIQ places for international students could be considered." Moreover, he said that, while we cannot promise students any specific timeframes for entry in 2022, it is important that we are ready to act quickly when the opportunity arises. Offshore online education provision offers new opportunities for diversification, and I am supportive of students currently committed to eventual study in New Zealand being able to commence tertiary study offshore. Immigration New Zealand notes that they have suspended visa processing for most individuals outside New Zealand, unless they meet the strict border exception criteria, or are currently in a COVID-19 quarantine-free travel zone. The statement online said that, the government has extended the suspension to the 6th of February 2022. Once the border restrictions change, the suspension can be lifted. Immigration New Zealand will continue to process visas for those who are not subject to the COVID-19 border restrictions, and for those who have been granted a border exception. Previously, according to the third installment of the Navitas Agent Perception Research, agents see little prospect for travel to Australia and New Zealand in 2021. They are reticent about international students' prospects to return to New Zealand or Australia in early 2022. Given their hard borders. This is the end of today's video update. If you found this video useful, then please share it with your friends and family on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.